I thought it'd be really apropos to talk about the question that I've been thinking about, wondering about. Um, I still wonder about it. I wrote a whole book on it also. Where does responsibility go under pressure? So, as I started to ask this question more and more, it really changed how I think about leadership, how I think about organizing systems, right? Because the premise of the question, right? Hang on one second here. Thanks for bearing with me as I figure this system out. Because what happens when responsibility enters a system? So any system, whether that's a school system, a business, an organization, a marriage, parenting, friendship, what actually happens? Not what should happen, not what's documented, not what you guys agreed on, not what your process is or your values are or your standards are. What actually happens, right? Because you can have a teacher call out. You can have cash flow get tight. You can have a parent that feels really upset. You can have your partner who gets really overwhelmed around something. And so when uncertainty shows up, right, when pressure and uncertainty enter the system, where does responsibility route to? So I think most of us have been trained or raised to ask the question, like, who should fix this? Who takes care of this? Who's accountable to this? I think there's a deeper question, which is where does responsibility go in that moment, right? And that became a lot of the organizing principle around my book, This Can't Be Normal, What to Do When Success Starts to Feel Like Survival, because I kept seeing incredibly capable leaders who had built multi-million dollar operations and still felt like everything depended on them. So across different industries, different personalities, different organizations, same organizing feeling. Responsibility doesn't disappear, it moves. It has a route, right? So one of the things I often talk about is every organization has a responsibility route, right? It has to go somewhere. Pressure and uncertainty reveal that route. It reveals it. So let's say, for example, in a school structure, right? A teacher starts struggling. The director absorbs the struggle of like, oh, this is really hard for you. Okay, let me help you with that. Let me see what you need. Where do you need support? How can I be of help? Give me a few options, right? Like we coach, we remind, we train it up. But who actually is absorbing the responsibility? Because reality always serves the bill. Reality arrives. The classroom has to open, the bill has to get paid, the children need care, reality arrives. Who absorbs the cost under pressure? So let's say you have in a marriage, right? In a relationship, something needs to happen. One partner forgets. The other person remembers the appointments, the kids, the bills, the planning, blah, blah, blah. Eventually, that person becomes the infrastructure of the marriage. Again, there's no villain here. No one intentionally wanted one person to become the infrastructure. But under pressure, responsibility always routed towards one person. And so that person became the responsibility route, right? That's why I talk about what to do when success starts to feel like survival, right? Like so many of you that are watching this, you have tremendous success in so many areas of your life, but it still feels like it depends on you. And so I don't think leadership is about carrying all of this responsibility. I think it's actually designing responsibility routes before pressure arrives, because pressure and uncertainty are part of the human experience, right? And so that's the thing that I've become really obsessed with. So part of what I want to do here on my Substack, and This Can't Be Normal, and in my thinking lab is for thinking, right? We have enough information in the world. Nobody needs more tips and tricks. We want new perspective. We want a new lens of the world. We want a place where we can feel deeply seen and witnessed. So I have some questions for you that I think could be interesting. Where does responsibility go under pressure in your life, right? What are you carrying in your mind that really doesn't belong to you? Where has pressure and uncertainty changed the organizing infrastructure of your family, your business, your marriage, your friendships? Um, let's think together about this, right? Because when pressure arrives, responsibility needs to go somewhere. And I'm wondering, where does it go for you? All right. Thanks for joining me.